The first model of the Ghost in the Shell collaboration with Medarot. It is KKS00's leader, with a kit of Ghost, Assassin, Thunder, Biped legs, and the Illusion leg ability, which grants stealth to self when charging Metaforce. Now, as the very first collaboration that Medarot S actually had, back roughly about last year or so, Nine's leader honestly is very powerful and very well balanced for what she offers, especially for mono female teams no less. Ghost, and arguably one of the only female users of Ghost thus far, excluding gender N types such as Metal Eater, is a very high damage dealing attack with pierce damage that also has defense ignore and draws extra bonus damage relative to your Metaforce charge. So, and on top of that, she also has 3 uses, which makes her a very dangerous force on the field, even just with the head part alone. Right arm of Assassin is a guaranteed hit and more or less a spot punish, spot nuking attack in this case. Guaranteed hit and guaranteed crit, but if you fail to break apart on the opponent with your strike, you instead lose your arm. And then left arm of Thunder is a paralyzed ailment attack that stops opponents cold on the field and helps you buy some extra time for someone to come behind her, or get yourself an extra turn or two to maybe knock someone else out and stall that potentially dangerous enemy on the field. And then the leg ability of Illusion does actually tie into her motif and the collaboration theme very well, as stealth basically makes her untouchable and non-targetable until she finishes her next cooldown, heat, and next turn. So unless she's already being targeted, this allows her to basically slink away or even bypass shields in this case, that may end up getting in her way from attacking who she really wants to go after. Across the board, I would honestly have to rate her a pretty solid 8 out of 10. Even for female sets, she is pretty well balanced in the armor department. Very solid power across the board too. Base power of 1823 for Ghost, 1427 before crit damage and crit rate with the Assassin, 923 for Thunder, even though it isn't necessarily a requirement to have a high damage in that case. Relatively balanced heat cool across the board in the mid 400s minimum, mid to high 500s where at the very highest or higher. But it's very solid mobility as well at 793. Evade of 954 also is really nice, and the melee resist of 1327 also is a nice touch for when she's combating anyone with combating any melee-based opponents. However, with a shoot resist of 401, she is going to be taking a lot of punish damage for anyone that is for when she's fighting anyone with shooting-based skills. So that is one particular weakness of her, if any. I'd honestly argue in some cases that the lack of Metaforce sustained for Ghost may or may not be a detriment, but the way Nine's kit is designed, she can kind of circumvent this relatively easily, where you can kind of offset it with using Assassin and Thunder a bunch of times, especially with a Hunter or Sniper nature metal, to kind of comp for that and build your Metaforce over time. And then once you get into a relatively high point, you can go back and start using Ghost as like a finish nuke more than anything else. But as mixed parts, I would honestly have to rate her a very solid 9 out of 10, because for any of her parts, you can use them anywhere very feasibly and very efficiently, as well as mentioning, like I said, that she is currently the only user of Ghost on a female bot, which alone puts her a step above the rest when it comes to building dedicated female nuker teams, as well as the fact that Assassin can also fit very feasibly and very comfortably anywhere on female teams, and Thunder also is a very open addition as well, with the only weakness in this case being stat cleanse.